him putting his weight on me, you know. He fought like a big man, you know. He put his weight on me. I'm much smaller, and he just kept leaning on me and leaning on me, and then it's like I'm fighting two people, you know. I got to fight to get him off me, and then throw my punches. He's 6'9", you know. He's a giant. He's got power, you know, especially over me. I'm only 6'3", but man, I was just dazed. I was dazed, you know, and freaking couldn't make the count, man.
Big man ting, smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Deontay Wilder's post-fight interview, crying about how heavy Tyson Fury was in there. Let's go through what Deontay Wilder had to say in his post-fight interview. He said the following: him putting his weight on me, he fought like a big man. He has kept putting his weight on me. I'm much smaller. He kept leaning and leaning on me. It's like I'm fighting two people in there. One to get him off me and one to throw my own shots. He's 6'9". He's a giant. He's got power, especially over me, as I'm only 6'7" and 210 pounds. But man, I was just dazed and couldn't make the count. Wow. And I've done some research, you know. Obviously this wasn't Wilder. It was Wilder. Yeah, I see the future. I see things. I'm telling you now. I'm a prophetical one. I'm a Nostradamus. What was it the other day I told you? That Fury and Wilder will be talking about offering AJ 40%. And lo and behold, Frank Warren comes out offering 40%. Who else was saying that? I didn't see no other goofy YouTubers saying that. So like I said, I'm a prophetical one. Yeah? Yeah? Prophetical Nostradamus out here. Yeah? you can call me Nicodemus out here. No doubt. But anyway, back to this. Listen. We heard there from Wilder's post-fight interview. I've done some research into Wilder and Steve S.S. Cunningham. Steve S.S. Cunningham on the night weighed 210 pounds. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think Wilder will weigh 210 pounds on the night of February 22nd. I think he'll weigh more. However, what do we know? On the night that Fury fought Steve S.S. Cunningham, this dude here, he weighed 255 pounds. Now, we're hearing about Fury, now 7 years more matured, weighing in at 270 pounds. So, yeah, proportionately it might not be the same, but still, even if Wilder weighs in 225 pounds, it's still more or less relative. And that's probably where Wilder will weigh in, 225. So it's all the same. The same way the same way Fury went in there and Cunningham got knocked out, and after the fight did you hear his voice? I'm not being horrible, I'm just saying, Cunningham fought a great fight, but he couldn't lie. He's one of the throwback fighters who told the truth. Steve Cunningham went in there, fought his heart out and lost. I'm not taking the Michael out of it, I'm just saying what it is. He went in there, fought his heart out, lost, and was truthful. You don't get that these days. What you get is people like Wilder. Oh, I was ill. Oh, I hurt my hand. Oh, I was very sick. I like kissing my babies, and they get sick and I get sick. That's what you get these days. People making excuses. Steve Cunningham, no excuses, just pure truth. He came in there with Fury. Fury too big, too strong. Fury weighed all over him, and that was the end of that. And by the way, do you think it's chance that, have you ever heard any other Fury opponent talk like that? I haven't. I'll tell you why. Because Fury never fought like that again. That was the last time he fought that way. The last time. Because after that, it was pretty much the Peter Fury era, where he was doing things like Chisora 2 and Vladimir Klitschko, etc., etc., where he was pure boxing. He was no longer using his attributes, using his massive height, using his massive weight, etc., etc. And once again, Fury needs to hear this, yeah, because this man Cunningham is exactly the same as Wilder. If not, in my opinion, he's a bit worse. Wilder's worse in as much as Wilder's 6'7" and weighs the same. He's skinnier, he's longer, he's ganglier. Cunningham weighed 210, Wilder weighed 210, but he's 6'7". Cunningham 6'3", so he's just even more elongated, which means he's got even less of a base. His legs, I've got another video coming soon. I probably won't be able to do it before Saturday, but still it will be done. Exposing Wilder's legs, they are real. I'm talking, it's unbelievable how skinny they are, and that's relevant to Saturday. That's relevant now, Fury. Fury needs to hear it now. Wilder's legs are thin. And if you can go in there and weigh on Steve Cunningham, who was somewhat a compact 6'3", he wasn't gangly. He's a compact 6'3", a good 210 pound fighter. Because when you're 6'3" and 210 pounds, that's not the same as 6'7" and 210 pounds like Wilder was. Does that make sense? Cunningham was nice and compact, a good, solid, athletic 6'3" man. Similar to David Haye. David Haye was like a bit more muscular, but still David Haye was always like 220 or whatever. At 6'3", 215. That's some good solid weight. But still, what happened? Fury went in there, weighed all over him, and this was 7 years ago. Fury should have, and Fury's been talking about how he's gone back to the cronk, and he's been learning. He feels like a baby. That's good. Hopefully in the short time he's been there, in a few months, well, you'd assume now, given how old he is now, experienced, he should be a quick learner. He's not having to start, he's not learning how to box from scratch kind of thing. So he should, in my opinion, in 8 weeks be able to pick up most of what's been taught. How that's relevant is, go in there and scrap all that Peter Fury business, all that Ben Davidson business. And the crazy thing is, even Peter Fury said, John Fury, most people who know boxing, the YB, is saying he needs to go in there and stick it on Wilder. Running around the place ain't going to work on this one. You've tried that, didn't work out. And Fury, to be fair to Fury, he knows it himself. That's why he left Ben. If he thought running around the place was going to work, he'd have stayed with Ben. Ben, in this day and age, is probably one of the best running around trainers out there. You have to give him his credit. He is. However, that's not what's needed today. What's needed is what Cunningham got. Listen to the... You don't need to learn how to listen to people's voices. Listen to the vocal. This was a broken man. Steve Cunningham was broken. Listen to him. It's hard for me to construe how broken he was, but just listen to the audio back. Let me read it out one more time. He's putting his weight on me. He fought like a big man. He put his weight on me. I'm much smaller. He kept leaning on me. Kept leaning. You hear the language there? All he can talk about is how he was being leant on. That's for a man to verbalise that. Do you know how significant that must be? Imagine how broken you've got to be to, after a fight, to sit there and on national TV, international TV, and talk about how another man was just leaning on you and you just couldn't do nothing. It's like I said the other day, you know when you have them dreams where you can't fight and you ain't got no power and you can't do anything. They're personal, they're private dreams. This man, Steve Cunningham, he had to live that out in real life. He couldn't do nothing. He felt like he was fighting two people in there. He couldn't get him off him. Fury just using his weight. 6'9" is a big man. And I'm just saying what he was saying. I'm not extrapolating anything. I'm just telling you what he was saying. So now, when you're fighting a similar fighter, who's actually even weaker, Wilder's got even skinnier legs, he needs to get it even more. Go in there, chin down, hands up, and just get on top of him. That's what needs to be done tonight, on Saturday night, no doubt. No doubt whatsoever. Not to mention, I think that Cunningham's probably as good as, if not better than Wilder on the inside. He ain't got no inside game. Wilder when he gets someone hurt, he just starts flailing. Imagine, yeah, if Wilder, when he hurt someone, he actually picked his shots. I think he'd be more effective. He probably wouldn't mind getting in there with people who are dangerous as well. The only reason it kind of looks semi-good is because the people he's fighting are no good. He hurts them once, then he starts flailing. Any other half-sharp fighter, like imagine he was fighting someone, I don't know, Evander Holyfield, and he buzzed Holyfield. Do you think Wilder's going to get Holyfield out there swinging his arms around? No, he's not. Holyfield's chin's going to be on his chest and his hands are going to be up, and them shots are just going to bounce off his shoulders and arms. Do you know what I mean? It's only because in this day and age where Wilder's fighting top 50 fighters, where they get hurt and then their hands go to their ankles and their chin goes in the air and they just kind of fall over, Malik Scott style. That's the only reason that Wilder has any success at all with the whole swinging like whatever. Because any half-sharp fighter, that stuff won't work. Because their garble will just be too tight and their shot, them big wide, them open arm hooks will just bounce off. And Wilder will probably snap his bicep. Anyway, the point is, like the same message as always. Listen to what this man's saying. He's been in there. No, don't listen to all these so-called boxing people who are saying, oh, Fury needs to run around. Because you haven't been in there with Fury. Or you haven't been in there with Fury who comes forward. Who uses his attributes. The one man on this planet who's been in there with Fury when he used his size and his attributes said, I was a broken man. Fury broke me in there. Fury made me grab my ankles in there. That's what he's saying. Yeah? Fury busted them cheeks in there. That's what he said. Now, for some reason, you hear this individual talking about how he got broken by Fury, but yet you want Fury to do a different game plan. I just don't get that at all. The blueprint is there. It's everything for a reason, I think, anyway. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but even so, even if Fury was to lose doing this style, at least he will lose and he'll be able to say, you know what, I gave him 5 rounds, I got some good shots on my own off, opposed to doing it your way, running around the place, arguably not even winning rounds, to be honest. I thought, if truth be known, people talk about boxing lesson, in that first fight, I think it's 50-50, the rounds. Could go either way. There's not enough being done by Fury. Nipping and tucking, a few jabs here and there, don't really win a round for me. So, people trying to make out it's a boxing lesson, it was not a boxing lesson. However, if he goes in there and actually gives Wilder a boxing lesson, chin down, hands up and starts winging away at Wilder's body and winging shots away, he actually will win rounds, regardless of whether he gets caught. Which to me, from an outcome point of view, makes sense. You're either gonna win, or you're gonna lose in style. Alternatively, if Fury goes in there and tries to do this boxing thing, he ain't gonna win on the cards anyway. That's the crazy thing about it all. Al Heyman, if you go in there, because that style, that style that beats Vlad, or that style that beat Vlad, it's not dominant. It's not dominant enough. It's just really not. There's no way even if Fury did so-called win 12 rounds using that style, he's not going to win. The judges will watch that and think the judges will watch it and they won't even score it. And arguably rightly so. So if he wants any chance of winning this fight, it's obvious what he's got to do.